Welcome back to Time of Death. As always, this video is for informational purposes only and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Dawn Frances Macavity. Macavity, a 19-year-old Latina, was found dead from gunshot wounds on Sunday, November 29 in the 8600 block of Broadwell Avenue in the West Whittier, Los Nietos area, according to LA County coroner records. Investigators were called to the scene when residents in the quiet neighborhood reported an abandoned vehicle. When deputies came to investigate at about 1:10 p.m., they could smell the odor of a decomposing body. Anthony Moreno was subsequently charged and convicted of murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Moreno and fellow gang members used a detached garage in Artesia as a hangout. The garage walls were covered with Artesia 13 gang graffiti. On the night of November 24, 2015, Moreno and fellow gang members James Lonely Roberts, Austin Risky Evans, and Dennis Miklo Mello, gang member or associate Raul Sean John Rees, gang associate Christina Boxer Martin, and Don Molly Macavity were together in the garage. Everyone was smoking crystal methamphetamine. Roberts testified Moreno sat on a couch about 5 to 6 feet away from Macavity, who was seated on a reclining chair looking at her smartphone. According to Evans, Moreno was sitting in a wheelchair off by himself and just real quiet. Evans, his girlfriend Martin, Roberts, Mello, and Reese were in a group seated on plastic chairs across from Moreno and Macavity talking and, quote, getting high a little bit. At some point, Roberts and Evans saw a police car on a television monitor, which was connected to a security camera facing the alley next to the garage. Approximately 15 minutes after the police car drove by, Moreno pulled out a rifle case from under the couch he was sitting, and he removed the .22 caliber rifle from the case. Moreno sat holding the rifle for 2 minutes on his lap before saying, "Not everybody run at one time." Then, without saying anything further, Moreno chambered around, pointed the rifle at the side of Macavity's head, and pulled the trigger. When the bullet hit Macavity's head, she raised her hands to the side of her head, jumped slightly, and looked over at Moreno. Moreno chambered another round and shot Macavity in the head a second time. Mello did not see the shooting, but he heard 2 shots. After the first shot, Mello looked around and saw Macavity holding the left side of her head with her left hand. There was a pause, and then Mello heard the second shot. Moreno said, "Don't fucking run." Mello looked at Moreno and realized Moreno had shot Macavity. According to Evans, after the shooting, Moreno looked around the garage and said, "All right, help me bag her up." Mello was the first person to run outside after the shooting. Roberts testified he got up and said, "What the hell," then exited the garage in shock. Evans and Martin remained in the garage for 2 to 3 minutes before leaving. Evans, Mello, and Roberts testified they did not know Moreno was going to shoot or kill Macavity and did not take part in the killing. Roberts had been intimate with Macavity a week before her death and considered her a friend. Evans and Roberts were not aware of any paperwork showing Macavity was a snitch working with law enforcement. 5 days later, on November 29, 2015, LA County Sheriff Deputy Jesus Perez responded to a radio call reporting an abandoned red hatchback vehicle located by the boundary of Pico Rivera and Whittier. When Deputy Perez arrived, the other deputy asked him to assist in opening the hatchback door to inspect an ice chest in the back seat. They opened the ice chest and found a dead body inside. They closed the ice chest and the hatchback door, secured the scene, and called the Homicide Bureau. LA County Sheriff Detective Dominic Recchia arrived at the scene that afternoon. He saw the body of a young female in the ice chest. The body was transported to the coroner's office where it was identified as Macavity based on her fingerprints. Detective Recchia viewed Macavity's body at the coroner's office and observed her pants were low to her waist, and one of her pants legs was kind of exposed over her foot as if someone either tried to take her pants off or put her pants back on. DNA records from the ice chest handle matched that of Reese. Moreno's DNA and fingerprints were not recovered from the ice chest or the vehicle. Deputy Medical Examiner Job Augustine concluded Macavity died from 2 gunshot wounds to the left side of her head in a homicide. In addition, Macavity suffered a gunshot wound on her left hand. Augustine's opinion was that one of the bullets went through Macavity's left hand before entering her head. There was no evidence Macavity had been sexually assaulted. After learning of Macavity's identity, Detective Rakia contacted her family. Macavity's mother provided Detective Rakia with Macavity's Facebook account and username. Macavity's family reported that Macavity did not have a cell phone plan, and therefore her smartphone would only be active if she was connected to the internet with an IP address. Detective Rakia subpoenaed Macavity's Facebook and cell phone records, which showed she last accessed her Facebook account on the day of the shooting at 7:34 p.m. at the location of the back house on the property where the garage was located. Detective Rakia visited the garage, turned on his cell phone, and was able to pick up the wireless internet signal from the owner of the back house, as well as 2 or 3 other wireless internet signals. Detective Rakia observed furniture had been moved outside of the garage, including a sofa. On January 28, 2016, Detective Rakia learned Moreno was in custody unrelated to the shooting. Detective Rakia placed a confidential informant, CI, in the same jail cell as Moreno. To stimulate conversation, Detective Rakia and his partner, Detective John O'Brien, showed Moreno photographs of Macavity and told Moreno he was a suspect in her sexual assault and murder. Moreno told the detective he did not know Macavity. Once Moreno was back in the jail cell with the CI, they talked over the course of 3 to 4 hours, a portion of which was played to the jury. According to Detective Rakia, most of the conversation about the shooting occurred after Moreno and the CI had spent about 3 hours together. At some point during their exchange, Moreno said to the CI, "I know I could beat it. They ain't got nothing on me." Moreno denied knowing Macavity, but later Moreno admitted he shot Macavity, quote, twice in the dome while he was sitting on the couch. Moreno then explained she was an informant. When the CI asked if Moreno acted alone, Moreno responded, "I took action on my own." Moreno said he knew Macavity was an informant because he, quote, saw the papers. Moreno stated the .22 caliber weapon did not, quote, make a big splat, but the blood sort of splattered on the couch. Moreno indicated other gang members, not the ones that left the garage after the shooting, helped him by disposing of Macavity's body and scrubbing the blood off the couch. Moreno did not help put Macavity's body in the ice chest. Moreno stated his DNA was not on Macavity. He added, "No blood is on my wheelchair or nothing, no gunpowder or nothing." Moreno told the CI he took the barrel off the weapon, threw the barrel in the ocean, and burned the rest of the weapon to ash. In his February 25, 2016 interview, James Roberts, aka Lonely, initially denied he was at the garage on the evening Macavity was killed or had any role in the moving of Macavity's body. Detective Rakia continued to push Roberts to tell his side of the story to clear him of responsibility for the killing. Roberts ultimately admitted he was in the garage the night of the shooting. He was sitting across the room when he heard a gunshot and saw Macavity looking shocked and dazed. Then Roberts saw Moreno point the gun at Macavity and fire a second gunshot. Roberts saw Macavity's head drop, and she was, quote, fucking gone. Roberts did not hear any argument between Moreno and Macavity before the shooting, but he speculated there was some tension between them because Moreno tried to talk to her for a hookup, but she would shine him off. Roberts described the gun as a small rifle. The jury found Moreno guilty of the willful, deliberate, and premeditated first-degree murder of Macavity. The jury also found true the gun enhancements against Moreno. The trial court sentenced Moreno to 25 years to life for first-degree murder, plus 25 years to life for the firearm enhancements. Don Francis Macavity was 19 years old at the time of death.